Slaughterdaughter's a badass bitch. As you were.
We're live.
Oh, wow.
We made it back.
We made it back. I can't hear anything.
That was a gun show there.
Can you hear us, Kelly?
No, I don't know what's going on. I
I
mean,
can
I can
hear
hear
you.
you, but you're very, very low. I'm going to go out and come back in, okay?
Okay.
All right, it's only your show. The talent. We got Dale here in the chat.
That's my in-laws' dog. They're over visiting. Yeah.
Thought it might was outside here.
No.
There's a big beer fest going on here where I'm at, and there's all kinds of music outside and
a beer fest.
A beer fest, yeah.
Uh,
Allentown, Pennsylvania.
All right, how's it now, Kelly? Can you hear us
Much
all right?
better. Yes.
Awesome.
All right, good. We're just saying hello to everybody in the chat real quick.
Hi,
so
everybody.
Dale.
Thank you so much for tuning in and to my channel and for part 2.
Who are you?
Continuing the conversation. I'm Kelly fucking Remus. Thank you.
You're supposed to always introduce yourself.
I'm Slaughterdaughter.
There you go. The badass bitch.
Man, I haven't even been drinking tonight, and I don't know what's gotten into me.
That's a deal.
Right, here's a few from Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
You're in training.
Scuba Pete.
Have I gotten everybody?
She's frozen.
Who?
She's frozen. Oh, there's.
Hey, Walter.
Frozen tag.
All right, so as promised,
Hi,
as promised, here is.
Nice.
That's from Hans
Didn't I
Chow.
show you that, Mom or Dad?
Happy Father's Day.
I thought I showed you that.
Oh, isn't that cool?
No. Yeah, that Hans Chow did that. And that's me.
Wow, that's really
good. As a little girl. He was inspired by a conversation that we had together and you babysitting and that you were just dad and grandpa.
Right.
Yeah.
I
thought I showed that to you. I'm sorry if I didn't.
I hope I get a copy of that.
I'm sure we can get one.
Yeah.
The image on Instagram looks a lot better. For some reason, me bringing it up here is pixelated a little. It looks a lot better than it's looking here. It's me.
Drew it from like scratch.
Yes.
He drew it from scratch.
Nice.
What am I even saying? I don't know.
Very nice.
What are you saying?
I don't know.
Well done, Hans. Kelly, you've got a request to attend some Comic-Cons.
Oh, yes. Dad, hook me up.
Yes.
No, kidding. I feel like I need some more subscribers before I go out and do those kind of things.
Oh, well,
Nobody
everybody
would be
that's
standing
here.
in my line.
There you have it. You got to start tuning in more so she'll come out.
See what you're at. You're at 316 subscribers. Kelly 316. How about that?
Nice.
Oh,
Slaughterdaughter 316.
Yeah.
316.
Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe here if you're new. I do see some new faces, so hit that subscribe.
I shared the link, so let's hope to give her a few more.
Especially you, Sean and Brett, and all you guys that are listening tonight. Undertaker.
And Vince, newly retired. You better subscribe too.
Vince, newly retired. What do you think about that news? I know you were working yesterday, and so I messaged you and I said, I'm sure you've heard, but did you know Vince has retired, announced his retirement, and you said, do what now?
Yeah. Hey, Vince. Welcome. You don't have a whole lot to do these days, so glad you could tune in.
Well, what do you think about Vince retiring?
Vince retire? Give me a break.
It's still
You think
sinking
it's all
in.
for show?
Oh, putt for dough.
He is 77.
Yeah. 77. Sunset Strip. 77. Sunset Strip.
Nailed it.
I would be very, very surprised if Vince McMahon retires from what he's doing. He might not be going into the office. He might not get on his Learjet. Who
But
knows?
he's talking to Stephanie.
I just know. Oh, you got that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're at 317 now. Thanks to keep on
And who-
collecting.
Thanks. Keep on collecting.
It was a nice moment, wasn't it? That'd be Kelly
And
316
I'm
for a while.
sure that Stephanie would love to have her dad talking to her.
Well, who wouldn't want the person that built the business into what it like? Why wouldn't you want that person in your ear? I would want, if I were to become a professional wrestler, I would be listening to everything you said.
Exactly.
A lot
That's
more than
right.
I do now. I would be listening.
Right. You listen to the Tickle Monster more than you did ever me.
Speaking of the Tickle
Come on,
Monster,
Dad.
Kelly,
Come
did
on,
you show
Dad.
Dad that?
Dad, is the Tickle
No,
Monster
I
coming
haven't
tonight?
seen him. I haven't seen him.
is
Zazel
it-
sent
is
me
it-
a funny little video of the Tickle Monster.
Yeah.
Do you have it, Zazel? You can throw
Dad,
it.
the Tickle
yeah.
Monster's coming tonight, right? Well, come on, Dad. Jesus.
I would beg for the Tickle Monster to come.
Has Dad been
Yes.
drinking? Has Dad been over at the beer fest?
No, I haven't been there. I'm going there. Let's get
Did
this
you-
over with.
I've got a deck of strong I got to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's why
While
I'm
you
not
were gone. While you were gone and frozen. She's frozen again.
I am?
Hello.
Not for me.
I think it might just be you,
Come on.
Dad. I think you're the problem.
All right.
It's me.
Okay, let's get this shit going. Dad,
Yeah.
what happened?
I'm moving.
Let's continue
Are
the
you moving?
story.
Oh, way to go. We got all these people tuning in.
Are you having technical difficulties, Dad?
Zazel, are you moving?
Yeah.
Is Zazel frozen too?
We're all moving.
Ken, I'm the only one moving. What's going on?
Oh, now he's gone. Any
Technical
excuse to go get a beer.
All right. Somebody breakdance while he's waiting for him. I call not it.
Go out and come back in again. All right, he's left. Sarge has left the building. I think what's happened is that Vince is knocking on his door.
I think he found out about the other stream and said, shut down this stream, but only that guy's feed. Little does he know he's on a WWE coax cable or something like that.
And he didn't even hear any of the good jokes.
I know.
Giving him a hard
You
time.
told some good jokes?
Sometimes, right, Kelly? Sometimes.
Zazel. There we go.
Is he back?
Is he back?
Let's try this. Everybody salute. See
Am
if it
I
works.
back?
Are you back?
Are you back?
We got him. Testing. 1, 2, 3. What did I say,
Hello?
I
Sarge?
don't know. Testing. I'm on. Am I on? I'm on. I'm
I can
moving.
hear
You're
you.
on. You're on.
I
There
can
might
hear
be a
myself.
delay.
Press.
Delay?
Is there a
What
delay?
if everyone
Kelly
can
keeps
hear
freezing.
Sarge and not us? What if we're the problem?
And everyone in the chat.
Is this volume? Is our what's his
Somebody
volume
doesn't
at?
want to know about the screw job, I guess.
I want to know about the screw
you're
job.
in the show. It says everyone can hear you. It says.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
they can. But you can't hear
I
us.
keep hearing an echo from all of you.
So, Dad, leave. Press the X,
Should I
leave. Go all the way out and
should I
then
do the
go to
leave?
the text that I
Yeah,
sent
yeah.
you and do it all over again.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Good job, Kelly. You're the only one allowed to order the Sarge around.
Yeah.
Like
right.
there were so many times I was like, I heard a different rumor on the internet, but he's saying the real thing behind the scenes. I'm not going to jump in right now. No, I'm not going to jump in there either. Not going to jump in there either. This is really good behind the scenes, juicy stuff. So
How about if I go upright this time?
Okay.
All right. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
good.
All right.
We
Perfect.
got it.
So, Dad, let's get this show on the road now. You've wasted too much time.
Well, I thought maybe somebody didn't want to hear about this.
I got my Brett. I got my Sarge. I got my Action Force. Like I'm all good to go. Like
I'm ready.
Okay.
I got my soda.
Love it. All right, Dad.
Yes.
So, Montreal Screwjob.
Yes.
Where we left off was that Brett did not want to give the title to Sean.
Right.
He wanted anybody except for Sean
Right.
because he didn't want to do Sean a favor for whatever reason. Do you know what the reason is why he didn't want to do Sean the favor?
Well, I know if there's some jealousy there. If it was just that he didn't feel that Sean was the kind of character that he wanted to pass the torch on to, if it had something to do with Canada, he offered to do it the next night on Raw, Monday Night Raw. He would do it
okay.
with Shamrock, but he didn't want to do it to Sean on the pay-per-view.
Because it was in Canada.
Right. We were going to be in Toronto the next night for Raw, and we were the next night. But for some reason, we went into the production meeting early that morning, as we normally do, and discussed everything with all the personnel that runs behind the scenes, the cameras and the production trucks and people that do all the work behind the scenes. And then the meeting is adjourned, and then just a handful of us go into a meeting with Vince and Stephanie, whoever else was, involved. And nothing was really discussed. It was as far as I knew, I was the commissioner. As far as I knew, the match was going on as planned, as discussed. I didn't know about Brett and the Sean situation. I didn't really get myself involved in those things. I was busy enough with my own things. I didn't have to care about other people's business or how they did business.
Right.
So anyway, so the day went on, and we all did our promos. I did a bunch of promos for later on in the show to be put into the show, and we went to our catering, and it was a normal pay-per-view day. Then the show started, and we were standing, getting ready to have the match before the pay-per-view, the Shawn Michael Bret Hart match.
Yep.
And we put that match on to be last.
Mhm.
And I was just standing talking with some people, and Vince came up to me and he said, Sarge, I'm going down to ringside. And since you're the commissioner, I want you to go with me. So I thought, oh, airtime. Airtime. I'm going to get some airtime. People are going to see me. So anyway, the match was finished before us, and now it's time for the main event. So Vince and I go down. Referee hadn't come down yet. Here comes the introduction of the players, and I had no idea of what was going on at this time. Not a trace. So I'm got my chest out. I'm looking good. I'm sitting next to Vince McMahon at ringside, which I thought a few times was kind of funny that Vince would be sitting at ringside. So anyway, he said to me, I just want you here in case there's any problems. Because, Vince and I had a few times earlier times where I saved his ass. One time, a fellow by the name of Nails
Yes.
attacked him in
his
a
office.
production meeting,
Yeah.
empty production. We were all,
Ooh.
you probably heard that story. Well, I was the
No,
first one in
tell
the room, and I pushed.
Oh.
Huh?
No,
Never heard that?
story. Tell
You
the
never
story.
heard that story?
Yeah. I've heard the story, but I
I've
didn't
heard the
realize.
story.
I didn't realize it was in the
You
don't
production
wanna
room.
tell
Oh, you want to tell it? Yeah. You're back.
He's
But
back.
you're muted.
back.
You have to push the mic button. Tap where it says mic. Yep. That was camera.
I think I can unmute him.
Yeah, you probably can. I was just about to say. Yeah.
No, it won't let me.
Won't let you? Okay. Huh.
If you don't want to talk about it, just say so.
Oh,
And then if he comes back and then says, and that's how it really happened. Oh dear.
We're all being
Left
played by
live.
kayfabe right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard the Nails story. I didn't realize it was a production meeting. I thought it was in his office, and I didn't hear who broke it up. So that's kind of cool. So Nails is the guy who played the prison, not the prison guard, Gaz, the jailbird. He wore the orange jumpsuit.
Yeah.
And there's always been the story out there that he tried to choke out Vince McMahon that I didn't realize was actually in a production meeting that Sarge managed to break up. I always heard that it was in his office. I never knew who broke it up. So
Can you
anyway,
hear us
he's
okay,
back.
Sarge?
Did you want to hear about the nail story?
Yes.
Yes, please.
I don't think this is going to happen. I don't hear. You guys
I
keep
can hear
freezing
you.
on me.
We can hear you.
We can hear you, so just start talking.
Okay. What do you want me to start talking about? The nail story first?
Yes, talk about nails.
Okay. We were in a production meeting, and we got all done, and Vince was all done with everybody, and he always stays back in the production meeting room, usually by himself, making phone calls. So he's in there all by himself, and myself, a fellow by the name of Arnold Skolin, and a couple other people were standing around kind of by the doorway. And all of a sudden, this Kevin came in, Nails, and he said, "Hey, Sarge." He had kind of a high, squeaky voice from Minnesota. "Hey, Sarge, how you doing?" I said, "Doing great." He says, "Vince around?" I said, "Yeah, he's in the production meeting here." He says, "You mind if I go in and say hello to him?" So I said, "Yeah, hang on." So I opened up the door. I said, "Vince, Kevin would like to talk to you." He says, "Okay, come on." And I saw Vince was on the phone, so then I'm sure he hung up. And so we're just kind of standing there, and all of a sudden we hear the furniture and tables and chairs, up against the walls and on the floor. And I come in, and Nails has got Vince on the ground of the floor of the production meeting room, and he's choking him. So I ran and took Kevin's arms and pushed him off of Vince's throat and shoved him up against the blackboard.
Wow.
And another fellow by the name of Arnold Skolin came running in after me and was grabbing Vince because Vince was having a hard time catching his breath. And so he starts helping Vince up. So Kevin breaks away from me, goes around me, and jumps on Vince again and starts choking him some more. So I turn around and I do the same thing. I push his arms off of Vince's throat, slam him up a little bit harder this time against the chalkboard. And Kevin stopped immediately and looked at me and goes, "Oh, hey, Sarge, I didn't mean to get you involved in this." I said, "Don't worry, you got some problems here. So just stop what you're doing." He said, "Well, I just want to choke him some more. I just want to kill him." I said, "Well, you're not." And by that time they got Vince out of the room. So I said, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, I just wanted to talk to him." And as soon as I follow him out, he turns a corner and there's a payphone, and he dials 911, and he said, "I want to report a crime." And so I guess the police said, "Where are you?" And he told them, "Here comes the police." And he told the police that Vince had grabbed him by his privates and was telling him, "Don't worry about it," because he was complaining about a payoff.
Oh my!
Saying that he didn't like what he was getting paid. And so he said Vince grabbed him and said, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." And he said that's when he grabbed Vince and started choking him. And I find that hard to believe. But I wasn't in there. Kind of like what we're going to talk about with the screw job. A lot of people were telling stories about the Montreal Screwjob that weren't even in the building, much less in the room. So anyway, that's what happened with Nails. And of course he got fired, and they had kind of a lawsuit and everything like that. This was no slouch either. This gentleman had 2 or 3 dogs. I think they were guard dogs. And you went to his house, he'd better say something to the dogs or they would eat you alive. I mean, so anyway, that's the story about Nate. But we found out later that a bunch of the wrestlers egged him on, and guys saying, "You really got screwed on your payoff," and this kid was kind of vulnerable and a little naive about things like that, and took it serious, and what became a kidding situation, a joke, ended up being gotten pretty serious. And I'm not sure if I would have waited much longer, if I would have been able to not only get him off of Vince, but if killed Vince. I don't know. So that was one time that I helped Vince out. And another time a fellow came into the arena after we were all done filming and taping, and we're just kind of waiting for one of our fellows to get into the limo, and this guy came up behind me and said, "Is that Vince McMahon?" And Vince had his back to him, and I said, "Yeah, that is."
Oh, we lose him again.
The worst possible time. It keeps happening when you're like into the story.
I think he's doing it on purpose. He's a good storyteller.
He should have had to tell a story.
He does. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you did pull up the photo earlier of Nails there, so people could see who he was and kind of like how big he was, even compared to the Big Boss Man.
I don't know what's going on here.
We
It's
can hear
okay.
you. You're
We
good.
can hear you.
Yeah, please continue.
So yes, please continue the story.
No.
Or not.
He really wants that beer.
Yeah.
I wonder if is he staying at a hotel? Maybe he's using their Wi-Fi.
He probably is.
Dad, are you on the Wi-Fi at the hotel?
No, I'm not on the Wi-Fi.
Or she's just on your data.
Can you move closer to the window? I don't know.
Hey, that is true. We cannot complain about Space Commander anymore.
No,
Not that we ever really have, but
No. never have. Dad!
But
We
he's
got you.
having a
I don't
senior
know what's
moment.
going on here.
We got you.
We
It's
can
okay.
hear you.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a party going on out here or what's causing me to lose you guys.
Okay.
I
Maybe we should jump to the screw job discussion. Let's.
So the screw job. We'll talk about the other time you saved McMahon. Some other time.
All right.
We'll get to. They're at ringside. He's sitting next to
You're
Vince.
ringside.
Doesn't know what's going on.
You don't know what's going on, but you think it's weird that Vince is sitting ringside. Go.
He has no idea what you're talking about. Let me type it in.
Hello.
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 You guys are all like you sound like you're from outer space. I can't hardly hear you.
Oh.
Space Commander.
Hello?
How
I
is
don't know
that
what to do.
possible? Do you
I
see
did
I don't know
that,
what's going
Rachel?
on.
Oh,
I did it. I should have typed Dad. Sorry. We can hear you.
Oh, you
It
thought your
says,
account was hacked.
says you're in the show, everyone can see and hear you. But when I start talking, it goes crazy.
We
my
can hear
boy.
you.
We can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay.
I'm-
So
Is your
anyway,
phone-
the
Go on.
guy walks up to Vince, and I happened to grab the guy thinking that he was going to punch Vince. And when I grabbed him, I pulled his arms back, and he had a gun in his
Holster.
trousers, and he was reaching for the gun. He was going to shoot Vince. So Vince owes me a few favors.
Yep.
So anyway,
Yeah, that he does. So
Yep.
you're
Plus-
sitting.
plus I brought him the Undertaker in a VHS tape.
Yes.
Saved his company, our company, by bringing this character in. And you know, Undertaker, Mark Calloway, if you're listening to this or somebody hears this, and you, Vince McMahon, thank you very much. Mark Calloway, you got inducted into the Hall of Fame. And you say after you're all done, well, I know I probably left a few people out that I should have thanked. Well, there's one guy right here that you should have thanked first, because I'm the one that dug your fucking videotape out of a box and brought it to Vince McMahon. And if it wasn't for that, I'm the one that called you. Remember that, Mark? Me, Sergeant Slaughter. I called you and invited you for a tryout. And you never even mentioned my name. And you, Vince McMahon, I'm the one that brought that tape to you. You didn't even mention my name at that Hall of Fame speech either. So I don't owe any of you guys a favor. You owe me a favor. All right, where were we?
Rings.
Ringside. Ringside. Okay.
Tell him, Dad. You tell him.
You tell him. I've done doing enough favors for all these guys and never even getting a thank you. Anyway,
Credit where credit is due is always a good thing.
Well, we thank you, Sarge.
one-
We thank you.
one thing about Mark is whenever I see him, he'd always share his locker room with me. So I didn't have to dress with everybody else, but that didn't bother me. But when I'd go up and say, hey, Mark, you haven't paid me my 10% yet, it was a joke. The check's in the mail, kid. The check's in the mail. Well, it got to be it was a funny ha-ha. But at least you could have mentioned me in your fucking speech. Anyway, where
Agreed.
was I at? Ringside. There we go.
Ringside with Vince. You don't really understand why he's there. You think it's a little weird, but you're getting airtime.
Right. So the match starts. And it was a hot atmosphere. But while I'm sitting there, I didn't know that Brett had this hatred for Shawn Michaels. I didn't know that that was the situation. I didn't know that he said, no, I'm not going to do it. It was never brought up in any of our meetings. It was never brought up in the production meeting. So I was like just watching this as a fan. I was enjoying the match. And these guys were tearing the house down, as they say. Then the sharpshooter went on. Shawn Michaels put Bret Hart's move, his sharpshooter, on Bret Hart. And the next thing I know, the referee is ringing for the bell. Now I'm sitting from here to the ring, and I didn't hear Bret Hart say, yeah, I give up. I didn't hear that. I see Vince McMahon jump up and says, because the guy's ringing the bells, like, what's going? Ring the bell! Ring the bell! Vince is yelling out, ring the bell! And the referee says, give me the title, give me the title. And Brett kind of rolls over. He hears the bell ringing. He's like, what the hell is going on? And the referee, Earl Hebner, hands the title to Shawn Michaels. And Shawn drops down to his almost in a fetal position and is yelling, not like this. Not like this. What are you doing? Not like this. And he's crying. Not like this. Shawn had no idea that the bell was going to ring. He had no idea that he was going to be the world champion because Brett said, no, I'm not doing it. He told that to Vince. He told that, I guess Shawn found out about it too. I didn't know it, but when I saw what I saw with my eyes and what I heard with my 2 ears, I know that Shawn didn't know anything about it because he was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And Vince said, take the belt and get the hell out of here. Get the fuck out of here. And here come Triple H and a couple other guys walking down, and they escorted Shawn back, and Shawn's like fighting. He said, no. He didn't want it. He didn't want it that way. He didn't want that match to end like that. So off they went. Vince grabs me. Come on, Sarge, let's go. I said, I'm not going with them. I'm going to hang out here. This is where all the action is.
Well, what
so
is Brett's point now?
Brett is like in shock. First, he's in shock. Now he starts getting in the ring. He gets back up on his feet. Right before Vince left, he walks over to Vince, and I'm sitting next to Vince. And he walks over and And over the top rope, he goes, "What?" And he said all this profanity to Vince. And he's just looking down at Vince. And he goes, and spits this big gob of snot in Vince's face, right in
Yeah.
his eye. And Vince is like cleaning off his eyeball. And that's when he told me, "Come on, Sarge, let's go." And I just said, "Joe, I ain't going. I'm not going anywhere." So then Vince leaves with everybody else. Now Brett starts going WCW because he's going WCW. Everybody in the world knew it. Now he's letting them know he's really going now. He keeps doing the WCW, and they're all chanting WCW, WCW, Bret Hart,
Wow.
Bret Hart, and it's almost a riot situation.
And it's in Montreal.
Almost a riot situation. And so now Brett goes outside the ring. I'm still at ringside. He's taking the monitors. He's pushing the monitors. He's taking the microphones. He's tipping everything over, and he's demolishing everything at ringside. So now I see it's getting a little nasty out here. I better make my way out. So I walk up the ramp into the gorilla position. And as soon as you walk out of the gorilla position, there's white 8x10 typing paper sign.
Oh, no, come back. It's getting juicy.
We're getting to the good part.
Tell Swoop good part.
Good part come. Tell Swoop good part.
I'm back.
You're back.
Have us on the edge of our seats, Dad.
Huh?
You have us on the edge of our seats.
Oh, okay.
So you came back and there's a white piece of paper taped up.
Okay.
And
So
yeah.
they're all over the backstage to tell you where things are, where catering is, where you do promos, where Vince's office is, where the production meeting is. They're all over the place. So the first thing I think of is I got to buy Vince some time because he's probably still in the building. So I start wherever I see a Vince McMahon office sign with an arrow, I tear it off the wall.
Smart.
Crushing him up, throw him in the trash can. Every time I saw a Vince McMahon sign, or Vince's office is what it's called, Vince's office, I snatched it off the wall. Now I go back up to watch the monitor in the gorilla position to see what's going on out in the ring. And as I get up there, here comes Brett. He's all done with destroying everything. So here he comes through the curtain. And the first person he runs into is me.
Right.
And he gives me a fist. He was going to punch me. And he said, "You son of a bitch." I said, "I had no idea, Brett. No idea. Believe me. On my children's lives, on my mother's grave, I had no idea what's going on here." And he said, "I believe you, Sarge. I believe you. But where's that where is that son of a bitch?" And I said, "I don't know, Brett. I don't know where he's at. I'm here. I don't know where he's at." So he said, "Well, I'm going to go find him. I'm going to kick his ass," and whatever else he said. So I followed, and he's looking. I felt kind of bad because he's looking everywhere for Vince signs, Vince office signs, and he can't see. He doesn't see any. So he's
Right.
like lost. He's walking down that way, going that way. He's going all over the place. So finally, somebody tells him Vince is in his office right there. So Brett
Ooh.
goes over and he starts pounding on it, grabs stuff, and he's like pounding on the door, pounding on the door, pounding on the door. No answer. And he's yelling at the door and he's calling whoever's in that room what he thinks of it, you know. And finally he gets frustrated and he says, "Screw it." And he takes off, goes down to his dressing room. So I wait for a little bit to see if anybody's coming out of that room. Nobody's coming out of that room. So I head down to the dressing room. I see Brett almost down to his dressing room, and I follow. He goes in. By the time I get there, I walk in, and he's starting to take off his outfit. Start taking off his boots. And he looks over at me again, and I said, Brett, I no idea. He's, Sarge, I believe you. I believe you. Then he gets up, and who's standing or sitting over there? Shawn Michaels,
Oh no.
sitting
Yeah.
on the bench, crying
Yeah.
like a little baby, crying out of his mind. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. Oh my God. And yeah, and Brett walks over, and he's like, did you know about this? Did you know about this? I know, on God, on my, whoever he is swearing on. Uh, I believe me, Brett. I'm, in God's name, I didn't know a thing. I didn't know a thing. I didn't know a thing. Now, you think somebody's going to say that about God and all that if they didn't? If he knew about that? I mean, let's get real. But then again, you're talking Shawn Michaels, but at that time he was a mess. He was a
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah.
But he's just like cuddled up, like in a fetal position. He's just
The way
like
he reacted.
terrified.
Yeah.
So finally, Brett walks back over. I see Davey Boy Smith and Owen and some other people. And I said, Brett, are you going to calm down? Are you going to be okay? He said, yeah, he ain't worth even me spitting on. He's just a piece of shit, And I wouldn't even bother with him. I said, so he's okay? You're not going to beat him up or anything or do anything to him? No, I ain't gonna. I said, okay, well, I'm going to leave. You sure you're okay? Yeah, I'm fine. So out the door I go, and down the hallway, here comes Vince McMahon and his entourage. Gerald Briscoe, Pat Patterson, I believe. No, I don't know if Pat was there. Shane McMahon, a couple other people. And here they come. And on their way, Bret Hart's family is standing on the side, showering them with spit. As much spit as they can come out of their body, they're spitting it all over the entourage, mostly Vince. Take their drinks, whatever they're drinking, they splattered him with it, kicking him, punching him. It was like, a scene out of a movie. They were just like beat, and the people that were with Vince aren't even protecting him. They're like,
He
just
deserves it.
letting them get beat up and spit on and kicked and hit. And I went, what is wrong with those people? Not only Brett's family, but the people that are with Vince. I mean, his entourage. Why aren't they protecting him or telling them to stop? So here comes Vince, walks into the locker room. I wanted the locker room first. So I got to see that. I got to be a witness to this. So I'm sitting on the side. Here comes Vince. Brett is sitting down. He says, Brett, I came here to let you know that I had to do what I had to do. Not only for myself, for my family, for this business, but for everybody that's employed, including everybody that's in this locker room that wrestled tonight. These guys here, I had to do this for them because you weren't playing ball. You weren't doing the right thing. I didn't know what you weren't do what you're supposed to do. And I didn't want what happened down in WCW to happen again. And I'm thinking, he helped Brett get that money, and still Brett didn't say, okay, not a problem. I'll do what you asked me to do, which was the professional thing to do. That went through my mind while I was standing there. So finally, Vince said, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to do. So Brett gets up and he gets into Vince's face. And he said, I had to kick the shit out of you. You piece of no good garbage. And telling him all these horrible names, calling him all these horrible names. And Vince says, well, Brett, I don't know what else I can tell you, but if you want to do something about it, here I am. And he put his hands to his side. And Brett is in his face and he goes, you ain't worth it, just like that piece of shit over there. You guys ain't worth me doing anything about it. I'm heading down to WCW. And Vince says, well, I'm happy you are. I'm glad you are. And I hope you're very successful and you make lots of money. And Brett says, I am. And I wish I could do something about it, but I'm not. And so he went to turn to walk away, and Vince had his guard down and figured it was over. And Brett turned around and went, wham! I mean, it still bothers me, the noise that
Right.
his hand, his fist, the sound when it hit Vince's head was just, oh, give you the chills. And Vince went down like that, down on the ground, knocked him out cold. And Vince is laying there, and he's looking over him, and he looks over at Sean, and I went, I thought he was going to go after Sean, so I gave him this, don't do it. And he looked at me and he goes, he ain't worth it, Sarge, he ain't worth it. So then he went to go back and sit down. So Shane jumps up. He said, don't you do that to my father. And here comes Brett. You're next, you little piece of shit. And he was going to hit him too. And Gerald Briscoe jumps in. And he goes, take it easy, Brett. Take it easy. Take it easy. And he says, and you're next, Briscoe. And he went to punch Briscoe. And I jumped in there in front of Briscoe. Said, Brett, you've done just about enough tonight. I think you better just go back and sit down. And he said, yeah, Sarge. Okay. You're right. You're right. So he goes back and sits down. They pick up Vince. They had literally picked up Vince by his arms and dragged his toes out of that room. And I went over to Brett one last time. I said, are you okay? Are you going to do anything else? You going to do anything to Sean? And by that time, Sean grabbed his bags and out he went. He was gone. After what he just saw, he wasn't sticking around. And I think, I'm not sure Mark Calloway, I've heard, was in the room. I never saw him, but he claims he was in there.
Yeah.
A couple other guys over the years have claimed that they were in the locker room, but I don't remember seeing them there.
Yeah.
I was there. I pretty much remember who was there. Now, Mark Calloway may have been in there because he had wrestled. He may have been in the room, but some of the things that he said he did, no, he didn't do that. So finally, I saw that Brett was okay. Sean's gone. I walk out into the hallway, and Vince being dragged, and the family, Bret Hart's family, gave it to him again.
While he was
threw stuff on him, spit on him, kicked him while he was down, stomped on him, yelling him all kinds of profanity to him.
Wow.
And finally they got him out of there. And I just still to this day I can't understand why someone didn't stop them from doing that. But I was too far behind either direction to stop them. It was already done. But so that night I'm with Tony Gurria. He and I are staying at the local hotel right next to the building. So go down and have a drink. what's going on? I don't know. What's going on? I have no idea. Did you know this? He said, I had no idea what's going on. Pat Patterson came down. He said, I don't know what was going on. What the heck? He said, as far as anybody knows, only 3 people knew. 3 or 4 people knew, and that the referee, I found out later, his brother was a referee at one time, David Hebner, and he was working kind of the same kind of thing that I was doing with Tony Gurria, and we were, in the production end of it. He was told, as his brother went out to the ring, to grab Earl's clothes and have his car waiting for him.
Yeah.
And he said, why? He goes, because he's going to need a ride out of here. And that's all he was told. That's all they told him. So as soon as Earl never even knew what was going on until it was the referees wear an earpiece in case anybody gets hurt. Or if something happens in a ring, like a fan should jump in, the referee is alerted to tell that beware, there's a guy coming up behind you with a gun or with a knife, or somebody's coming with a crowbar, or something like that, or whatever it's used for. So when Earl Hebner got into the ring is when he was told to ring the bell. He didn't even know. The referee didn't even know. So it was just one of those screw jobs. It was. They call it a screw job. I don't know who screwed who. They all say Vince screwed Brett. Then they say, well, Brett screwed Vince. Well, Brett screwed Brett. Well, somebody got screwed. I know Bret Hart made a whole lot of money when he went to WCW. Yeah, that's all I know. But that's kind of what happened, and we were just kind of sitting in the bar going, we were right hand. I was at ringside. I didn't even know what was going on. I mean, I was told right before the match started, hey, Sarge, you come with me. You're the commissioner. The reason Vince wanted me there is because I saved his life a couple other times, and he didn't know what was going to happen once that bell rang. So he wanted me out there to protect him, I would think. That's the only reason I figured that I was there at ringside.
That's exactly
all
it.
these years I thought, well, there was no reason for me to be there other than to save him if Brett came after him or somebody else came after him, the fans.
Yeah.
Because, those are Bret Hart fans.
In Montreal, yeah.
So that is the story, my story, and I'm sticking to it, of what happened at the Montreal pay-per-view where Shawn Michaels beat Bret Hart with a sharpshooter. And to my dying day, if those guys want to come up to me and tell me to my face that those stories that they've been telling are true, I'll tell them they're liars, because I was there. I was an eyewitness. I saw every second of what happened that night, from the time the match started until Shawn Michaels ran out of the dressing room. Didn't even shower, grabbed his stuff, and saw his opening. I think a couple of the guys may have helped him get out of there, but
probably Triple H. Triple H would have. China,
I know that Triple H came down to ringside and claimed that he knew what was going on years later. Nobody knew what was going on. Believe me, nobody except for Vince and about 3 or 4 people, because Gerald Briscoe had to know, because he was controlling the time on the match.
Okay.
And there was, of course, Kevin Dunn had to know, because he was controlling the cameras and everything. So he had to know. So there's got to be 4 or 5 people that knew. But it was hush hush. And of
Yeah.
course, all these stories came over the years
Mhm.
and over the years about, yeah, I was there. I was in the locker room. I was, yeah, I knew all about it way before it even happened. 2 days
Mhm.
before it happened. No,
Yeah.
you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. And
Sean,
don't tell me you knew because you didn't.
Right. Sean didn't know.
Sean admits
No.
later he played like he said he didn't know at the time, and then like in 2010 he went
Yeah.
and said he knew about it, and Triple H said the same thing, and Bruce Pritchard said he didn't know because he got back to he was sitting at Gorilla apparently. Sarge would know more than I would. Bruce Pritchard said he didn't know. Jim Ross said he didn't know.
Right. Right.
Pat Patterson said
Announcers,
he didn't know.
announcers didn't even know. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's how kayfabe it was. That's what we call kayfabe. That was a kayfabe
Yeah.
to the highest highest point of kayfabe. That was kayfabe. And of course, the next night, Vince had to face the other things that happened because most of the guys had left the building. They didn't even stay to watch that match.
Yeah.
They left to go to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So the next night, Vince comes with a big shiner.
Mm-hmm.
Could hardly even walk yet, and called a big meeting and said basically what he repeated in the locker room with Brett.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do what I had to do, not
Yep.
only for myself, my family, my company, but for all of you. Because if that title would have been down in WCW, put in a trash can, you know, we'd be hurt. We'd be hurting.
Yeah.
It's not
He was
good.
definitely
Well,
backed into a corner.
yeah, he was.
So,
The part of the story that's the most shocking for me, and Sarge saw it happen, was when Brett turned around and basically it sounds like a sucker punch on Vince. And the way Brett told the story on Dark Side of the Ring is that they locked up after Brett said, "I'm going to knock you out." And then he hit him with an uppercut after they locked up. That's how he tells it on
they
Dark
what?
Side of the Ring.
Oh,
Oh, did
I'm
I?
losing you. He
Oh,
said, what did Brett say?
on Dark Side of the Ring documentary, he doesn't say that he punches Vince. He says that they locked up after he says to Vince, "If you're still here after my shower, I'm gonna knock you out." And then he comes out, Vince is still there. They lock up, and Brett hits him with an uppercut. So he kind of makes it sound like Vince saw
No,
it coming.
that's not what
That's
happened.
that's just what was told on Dark Side of the Ring. I
He
wasn't
did
there.
say to Vince, if you're here after I get out of my shower, I'm
Okay.
gonna kick your ass.
Okay.
If Vince says I'm here now,
Okay.
if you want to do something about it now, here I am.
Okay.
And that's when Vince dropped his hand, and
Okay.
that's when Brett gave him the sucker. I'm sure Brett doesn't want anybody to know that he sucker punched Vince. It's not the proper thing to do, you know, but that's what happened. And I'm sure if you interview him again, he'll tell you he did it because he's got nothing to gain anymore. He's a multimillionaire. He doesn't need Vince McMahon. He doesn't need wrestling. He doesn't need anything. And maybe he'll tell the proper story because I was from here to this telephone, and I saw what Bret Hart did. He sucker punched him. He wanted to walk away like he was going to take a shower because he said, if you're still here after I take my shower, I'm going to kick your ass. And Vince dropped his hands and said, well, I'm here now if you want to do something about it. And that's when Bret said, I ought to kick the shit out of you. And that's when he turned and waffled him. And to this day, when I even tell the story, it gives me chills because I always remember the sound.
This is really heavy to digest. Like there's a lot to digest from this.
It was
right.
Yeah, it would have been a thing to see.
Surprised Vince didn't perish. I tell you, as hard as he hit him, I'm surprised Vince is still alive.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, he must have got a concussion or something out of it because it just waffled him, and it's just one of those deals.
They ended up making up.
Oh yeah, everybody made up. That's what's the hard part about it because now Sean's going, yeah, I do. Yeah, Triple H, yeah, I do about it. Undertaker, yeah, I knew about it. We all knew about it. Like, at the time, nobody was saying that. You know,
Yeah.
and to save faith and to save Shawn Michaels from getting his ass kicked again by Brett, he kept saying, "No, I didn't know anything. I didn't know." But finally, when they did the makeup, he claimed that he
He
knew.
knew
But
about it. Yeah.
as I'm telling you, and as I'm sitting here, if Shawn Michaels knew after what I saw and what I heard, I would have to really, really. I guess I'll find out in another life. But the way everything went down, the way he reacted when he got that title, and he kept yelling at Vince, "No, no, not like this, not like." He could have just grabbed that title and ran off if he knew about it. Why would he even act like that? For Brett's sake? For Brett? For all the people that were sitting at ringside? That's not, he didn't do it for that reason. He did it because he didn't know. He was fooled like everybody else. He was in shock, just like we all were, that bell rang, and he's the world champion.
Yeah.
And what made it worse is they put the sharpshooter.
Right.
Yeah, that's
They worked out a spot. That
That's
was
a tough pill to swallow.
that was just supposed to be a spot in the match.
Yeah.
And when that's when Vince said, "That's when I want you to ring the bell."
Wow.
Screw Brett. If he wants,
Yeah.
after he doesn't want to play ball, this is my field. I'm the coach here. I'm the manager.
yeah.
You don't want to play ball? Take your ball and go to another field then. And that's what happened.
Undertaker's story is always
if anybody
that,
out there,
no, go ahead.
any of you other boys that were there that night want to challenge me on this, I'd be more than happy to talk to you face to face.
Yeah. Undertaker's story has always been that he was the one who went and got Vince out of his office, like pounded on his door, and that's how. I don't know. That might be a minor detail in the story, but that's how it was told to the masses.
When I was brought up, they call that a lie. He's
fair enough.
He's just a Vince McMahon boy.
That I like to talk
Always
about.
has been. He should be. Made him a multi-millionaire.
I wonder if anyone would even remember the match that much, or even be talking about it.
I get frustrated with these guys. I really do. I don't mean to come down on them, but it's tell the truth. Tell the truth. What? Why? I don't understand. But I just re-signed with G.I. Joe. I don't care. Yo, Joe.
Yo, Joe.
And
Yo,
now
Joe.
you know.
Well,
Now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Now you know. And what I know is that the reason why I started this channel was to get your stories out there, because you wouldn't write a book. And I know if you were to write a book, you would be telling all of these stories in exactly the way that you told it. And, it's your truth and you were there. And
Wow.
I could get a couple of guys, and I think they would tell you the same story because they were there with me.
Right.
Tony Gurria, he was there too. I mean, we sat at the bar and we were like, "What in the hell's going on?"
Right.
And then I told him what I went through in the locker room and everything else. I mean, that's the last time I talked to someone about it. They said, "Yep, whenever we hear from Brett, they say Brett says whatever the Sarge says is what happened because he was there." Nice. So that makes me feel even better because I just saw Brett a couple of weeks ago, and he always stands up, gives me a hug, and says, "What are you doing? Where are you at? Let's go have a drink." And he and I and Roddy Piper were best of friends, and just one of those things where I just went with what fair was fair and what wasn't fair wasn't fair. But Brett wasn't right either. He wasn't right by punching Vince. He wasn't right by what he did. He got all this money, and Vince helped him get that money. I was there. I heard it. I saw it.
Yeah. It's,
So, and when I hear other talents who just want to get in good with the boss and say that they knew this and they knew that and this is what happened, I don't go for that kind of stuff. I'm not a brown noser. I do what I do because I have talent.
mhm. Amazing. What a
I don't
story
have to
tonight.
brown nose
Yeah.
anybody.
This
That's
is really
Gee.
heavy. Like I'm sweating a little bit here, but it's good
Yeah.
to know that my favorite wrestler and my favorite crossover star are friends to this day.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to know. It's hard to know which part to be furious at. I think, yes, you can blame either end for things that they did, but one of the things that really bothers me is that sucker punch that Brett did. I mean, technically, Brett got a sucker punch in the ring with what happened, but if for me, maybe it's an Aussie thing, but if someone gives you an opportunity and says, "All right, you want to hit me, hit me," well, then you can take that opportunity, but don't turn around and walk away and then sucker punch someone. It's not only dangerous,
Right.
it's just downright disrespectful, and it's I'm furious at that part of it.
Right.
it shows.
I don't like
That's
to
why
see.
that's why I asked for clarification on that part, because I was like, whoa, like I was shocked, right? Because yeah,
Like hit Vince
You
because
are.
he deserves it, but don't act like you're not going to do it and then do it.
Yeah. It's
Right.
that's
What I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
Vince went in. Vince went in to apologize and do it the business way, but Brett didn't see it that way.
Right.
yeah,
As you say, a sucker punch is not what Brett should have did. But at the time, he was just so furious. But as I said, what's there to be mad about? You're a millionaire. You became a millionaire because of the guy that you just sucker punched. But I am running almost out of battery. I don't know how much we have left in the show.
we
can
got the
call it
juice.
done.
We got the juicy stuff done.
story. Yeah. Dad, there was a couple of stories that I remember hearing you tell that came up for me as we've been going through this whole past 2 hours that make me want to do like another show like right now. But we won't. We'll save
Yeah.
it. But there is a story that you told me about Undertaker when another wrestler disrespected you and
Yep.
what he did to that guy who disrespected you. We're not going to talk about it now. We'll talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
But it was
Well,
pretty.
I have nothing against Mark Calloway other than, sometimes you got to reach back and remember how you got where you are,
Right.
And not for nothing, I just thought that if he didn't want to mention it on his speech, I understand, but picked up the phone and gave me a call one
Right.
day
Mm.
and
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
"Hey, Sarge, by the way, I don't know why you weren't invited to I wasn't even invited to be there." I
Yeah.
mean, that was another thing that kind of bothered me a little bit. I wasn't even invited to the Hall of Fame. I'm a Hall of Famer. And they don't even invite me.
GI Joe Hall of Fame and WWE Hall of Fame. Who else can say that?
Yeah. Right. So
I mean, let's make an Action Force Hall of Fame while we're at it.
not to invite somebody that was that important
All in part of
in your career to put you where you are today, and you don't even invite them to your ceremony. I mean, geez.
Yeah.
What a anyway.
But yeah,
what a bummer. What
I
a
let a
bummer.
little bit of steam off tonight, but I've been wanting to do that anyway.
We appreciate it.
I did say you
Very much.
performed tonight. Are you sure you didn't have a couple glasses of wine with dinner earlier?
No, I didn't. I actually only had an appetizer because I was running late, and I ran up here to do this. So I'm
Gotcha.
hoping that we can run out and get a sandwich or something now.
Well,
Off to Beer Fest.
go get something to eat, Dad. It's 10 o'clock.
Now
I've
you know.
got that big deck of strong that I've got tomorrow.
All right.
Yes, go to your daughter's birthday. Dad, can you dismiss everyone? Thank you, everyone, for being here. I really appreciate it. Zazel, Ken, Dad, and all the viewers. Thank you so much.
And as far as the Montreal Screwjob goes, now you know.
And now you know.
And knowing's half
the battle.
Yo, Joe.
Yo,
Full
Joe.
force.
Thanks, guys.
Dad.
I talked to Zazel while you were off the camera about those lines I got to do. He wants them as the
Hang on, we're still live.
We're still live,
you're
Dad. You
dismissed.
gotta salute
You're
everybody.
dismissed.
You gotta dismiss us.
You're dismissed. And don't let your enemy eat your bread.